Okay.
Going your way, right?
So, like I said yesterday, we have the base drawing which I put up in Autodesk A360, which is this chap here, and everybody divided into their slices. So everybody has their slices of the building set up more or less. So the only reason to make this drawing is that so every single group has the same set of coordinates. So I'm going to shut it down again. So that's the class. That's the class drawing. So now I'm going to make a group drawing. So I'm going to set up an architectural template. And I'm going to go into, well, we can go to side view. And I didn't mention yesterday, but this little blue sign up here, if you select it, it actually gives you coordinates, north, south, east, west, and the elevation, and the angle to true north. So this is the stuff that you need to transfer from the other projects. So if you get all these values the same, then you know that your project is located in the same position in the world. So it's set to 0, 0, 0, as you can see right now. So we're just going to insert the other project. So insert, link Revit. Where did I keep it? I'm keeping it on my desktop. And it's this one here, Mesquine-Hallen base drawing. And because we don't have any shared coordinates, we always insert it origin to origin. So that means 0, 0, 0 to 0, 0, 0. So it'll come in at 0 coordinates. If anybody's used to using AutoCAD, you know what that means. So open. So it comes in, and you can see that the two blue symbols here are on top of each other. So it's come in at origin to origin. So that's the origin right now. And if I go and try and select the blue element again, you can still see that it's still set to 0. But if I go into Manage and Coordinates and press Acquire Coordinates, it's asking me down here, select a linked project from which to acquire shared coordinate system. So we have it here, so we just need to click it. And if this is all worked, if I go and select this blue thing again, you can see that it's changed the position. North, south, east, west, and the angle to true north has changed as well. Okay? So we know now that this new project has exactly the same coordinate system as the old project. So I'm going to save this new project. Save as project. Put it in my project folder, which is on my desktop, and call it group base project file, and save. So what we have is the base project file. So we need to go and then take all the information that we want in the from the class file. So let's say we're starting with this part of the building here. I'm going to go into architecture, model line, and actually I can go around and select the different elements of the project, trim them together. You can't see them yet because they're in front of the link project. And once I've done that, I can actually unload the overall project because we don't need it anymore. All we wanted was its exact position, you know, on the plan view. That's all we need from that. So I can go into manage. You can either delete it or you can manage the links, and you can come in and just unload it. The reason for unloading it is that you can always reload it later and it'll always come back in exactly the right position. So I'll just do that again. You can go into manage, go to manage links. All the linked files are shown here, and you can either reload, which will pop it back in, or you can go back into it and press unload. So it actually retains the coordinate information, so it's still in the same position, but it's not visible in the project anymore. So it's not confusing you. You don't have extra levels or whatever in the background anymore. But you have the information that we need, which is the coordinate information. So then what I would do is go into the elevation view, because remember we're still dealing with the group-based project. So you need to set up all the values that you want everybody to work off. So I would set up, we have the kind of the floor plan, or at least the basis of the floor plan. So I would come in here and delete all this text, you don't need that. and set up the levels. So let's say this is ground floor level. Let's just call it ground floor so it's clearer. And let's say level 2 is, let's say it's at, what is it? It's probably about 4 meters high. Let's say it's 4.2. So 4200. And we'll call that walkway level. And then the roof level, let's just say that that's yeah, but I'm thinking about the top of the walls, so it's probably only 2 meters higher than the walkway level. I tell you what we'll do. We'll put it at the top because what did you say it was? 5.9?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say it's 5 point, not from floor, like the top of the roof. 950. Okay, so let's put it at 950. 9500. And let's put in a level as well, just by copying this one. And let's assume that it's about 2 meters now, 1.8. That's it. It's okay. I'm just showing the principle. I'm not gonna do everything exactly. No. Let's make this 1950. So this is going to be, let's say, the top of the or the edge of the eaves there. Eaves internal, let's say. So you don't have to use these levels, you know, to make floor plans. You can use them just to as guidelines for your work. So this is all set up. Make sense so far? Yeah. So this is when you go back into level 1 and oops, ground floor, sorry. Delete this again. And this is where you use the architecture lines to model or to draw the measurements you took off the floor plan, which everybody was up to yesterday. So this is where I would start to draw those. There's one thing that you can control in this. If you notice that Revit, it automatically snaps to a certain angle, and that could be annoying if you're trying to deal with an old building specifically. So you can control that stuff. And you go into manage, and we have something here called snaps. And you can actually switch those snaps off. And the snap is, it either snaps to an endpoint, a midpoint, or it can snap to an angular dimension. So what Revit is usually set up to do is that it snaps to 5 degrees or 1 degree. So you can't get the exact right degree. So you need to switch that off within the manage tool. The other thing you can do with snaps, if I go and make another architectural line again, model line. If I draw a line from here, and I wanted to put it, let's say, to the end point of this, and it won't do it automatically. But you can just right-click while you're in the course of the line, and you can select Snap Overrides, and then you can choose any of the options in here. So you can say endpoint, and it will go to the endpoint then. Okay. So if you're having trouble controlling the lines, you can always right-click, and you can override the snap, or you can switch them off entirely. So that's something to remember. So let's say, so this is where you put in all your sketches as to how your wall works, general idea as to what it looks like. I'm not going to do this very accurately. But also, most people have some kind of a column set up. So I would locate the column, you know, based on where it is, obviously away from the wall, and then draw it accurately. So the sketch plan on the floor level should be very, very accurately drawn, because it's actually what you want to make the model of. Okay. I don't know how wide the columns are. They're probably about, anybody have an idea? 150, are they? Nobody knows. All right. So let's assume they're that, whatever that is. So I'm just going to select that. I'm going to copy it. And let's say we just for the sake of doing this quickly, I'm just going to copy it over here. And let's just put in some lines over here as well. Let's say there's a window there. I don't know what it looks like, but let's just have a basic idea. Okay, so that should show up in 3D view as well. So that you can see that's the basis of your three-dimensional floor plan. So we've got the overall layout on the ground level. We've got the level set up. So now we can save this. And we can shut it down. If it shuts down. Okay. So that's the group Revit here. So now we can start to set up the individual projects for each individual person. Again, if we want to set up, let's just start by doing it actually. So let's say architectural template, and let's go into site again. The first thing you need to do is you need to transfer the coordinates again. And I was checking this up yesterday, and the cleanest way to do it now in the new version of Revit is actually to you can't daisy chain the coordinates apparently. What I mean by that is you can't match the coordinates with a file and then use that new file to match the coordinates. You have to go back to the base file again, okay? So we need to go back and insert, link Revit, and link the base drawing, the class base drawing again. It doesn't work with the one we've already done for some reason. So we have to go through the same process. So origin to origin, so open it up. And then we go into manage, and then we go into coordinates, acquire coordinates, and select the linked file, and then just double click, or double check, sorry, and we can see that it's got the correct coordinates. And once we do that again, we can either delete the linked file, or we can go in again to manage links, and then unload it. Okay, so let's just hold pause. What I'm going to do now is link the group file in. So we've set up the coordinates so they're the same in this. Let's just call this file save as project, and we'll call this one, I don't know, let's call this one walls, and it's group member 1. Save. So the person who's now working on the walls can go and insert and link, and then find the group base project file, which is this one. And because we've already set the coordinates, we can say by shared coordinates. So that means it'll automatically come into the project in the right position. Press open. It's telling us that it won't bring in the original base drawing because it doesn't allow 2 levels of drawings to come through. You can say, don't show me that again, that's not really telling us anything. But there you can see that the linked file has been brought in the correct position related to the project we have. And we can test that by selecting true north over here and see if the orientation is correct, which it is. Okay, now we have all these levels from the other project that are, we can delete this one because that's from the current project we're in. We have to be able to transfer these levels into the project we're in now so we can use them to work. We can delete the other ones. And the way we do that is use the collaborate tool, copy monitor, select the link, and then we can copy the levels across from the linked project into the current project that we want to work on. And that's quite important you do. So that means is that all the levels are consistent throughout all the individual linked projects. Finish. And now you're ready to start making your walls drawings or something like that. Okay? Delete all these texts we don't need. So let's just very quickly do that. So I'm going to set up a wall, and I'm just going to set up a basic wall to start with, because the thing about Revit is you don't worry about the materials or anything like that. First of all, you just get the basic elements in there. So I'm just going to use a generic 400mm wall, and I'm going to let me just cancel that. So I'm just going to draw it. So I'm going to draw it from endpoint to right click, snap overrides, endpoint, like that. And do the same thing here. Snap overrides, endpoints, like that. So we have the wall set up. So I'll just take up this, and now we can use the levels that we've put in there to connect them to Eve's internal, for example. So they're at the right level in there. So if everybody does this, you can set up a project for floor, for walls, for roof, however way you want to divide it up. And then later on, we can get into how you actually manufacture the structure out of that. Okay? I want to do it step by step because it seems like people are a bit confused about it. So I'm going to do it step by step. So if everybody gets that set up, we'll go a little bit further with the time we have today, okay?